August 26th, T-minus 5 days and counting. We're in the greenhouse today to put down the ground cloth on the floor to move us one step forward to having this thing ready by September 1st. Got some 4-foot ground cloth here that we're going to be using. This came from Grower Solutions, but came as no additional charge. Thank you, Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead for this freebie that I got when I purchased the high tunnel. So we're going to get with it, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Last night, as luck would have it, so to speak, we had some rain, which helped settle everything in here because it was so dry. It was like powder in here, and I couldn't really tell where the low spots might be since I've been digging around in here, burying pipes and conduits and whatnot. And so there's a couple of spots in here that are still low from where I dug some things up. And so I'm going to bring in a wheelbarrow full of dirt. Well, I say dirt, it's mostly sand here in northern Florida. But I'm going to bring that in and level that out. Then we're going to put down the ground cloth for the floor. All right, I've got put in a little bit more dirt, raked things around, filled in some little bit of low spots on here. Not building a space station, but wanted to pay particular attention to the high traffic areas, especially the front door and in front of the potting table. So don't want to create any trip hazards. My weed barrier is only 4 feet wide, and so again, don't want to create any trip hazards. So I'm going to have to be careful about centering the weed barrier right in front of the door, so there's no seams directly in front of this. So I'm measuring off from the side. Got to put in enough space for overlap, because you don't want anything just butting up against the different edges. So let me get some things marked out here, and then we'll get started laying down the weed fabric. Upon opening the roll of weed barrier, I discovered that they didn't seal this. They didn't cut it with a hot knife. They just cut it with regular shears or a knife or something. So the first thing you got to do is seal this off so it doesn't fray, because it frays really bad if you don't seal that with some type of a hot knife or a torch. And here's what that looks like. You want to make sure you don't get too close to the edge of this stuff, because it will melt in a heartbeat, especially with the kind of temperatures that we're talking about here from a torch. So here we go. See how that curled up? You don't need much of it to seal it, and it does wrinkle up. Be careful handling this after you've heated it with a torch too, because some of that nylon will be still molten, and you get that on your fingers and it will hurt like all get out. Well, while getting ready to stake down the first row of the weed barrier, I came across a discovery here that is going to cause a problem. I keep these things on these staples on a shelf, and anytime I need some, I just go in there and grab some. But I opened it up today and realized that there's not enough to complete this project inside the greenhouse. So I'll have enough to stake it out and stake them down, but not enough to make it secure for the project to be complete. So I'll just have to order some more. So a word about these things is I would urge you to make sure that you get galvanized staples, because these things, if you don't get the galvanized ones, you get the ones that they send you in packages. They just rust in about 3 seconds, and so make sure you get the galvanized ones, because if you've got to ever pull these things out, you'll never get the rusted ones out. Just discovered an issue that is going to change the schedule. As I was laying out the first row of the weed barrier, I discovered something. And here is what it is. Hopefully you can see that. Right here on the dirt, it's right at 100, a little over 100 degrees with the sun shining on it, and we're about 11 o'clock in the morning. Now look what happens. We're going from anywhere from 100 degrees up to 150 degrees on top of that black plastic. No wonder this stuff is a weed barrier. Not only does it block out the light, but it incinerates everything underneath it. Holy cow, I'm not going to be able to continue on with this. I'm going to have to curtail putting this on and putting this down until I get some plastic and shade cloth on the top. So I guess what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be working on the end walls. So stay tuned for that. Here we are in the greenhouse again, but I've got the end wall plastic rolled out here, and the instructions that they give you with this high tonal leaves a lot to be desired. So I've got the, like I said, the end wall plastic rolled out here, and it's so long, I guess it covers multiple high tonals, but at any rate, it's got so much plastic that I think I'm going to be able to cut a piece off of the end of it and put it on the end wall, and then save the other part for maybe something else later. Okay, let's see how this works. I'm on the south end of the high tonal. I'm going to hopefully attach this tarp clamp onto the plastic right in the center. I've got it marked in the center so that when I get it up to the top, I'll know exactly where to place it up here. And then I've also got the plastic marked on both sides right here, marked on both sides 6 feet down, so it'll give me a frame of reference up here when I go to the corner of the greenhouse to get it square. So wish me luck, and here we go. All right, folks, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The southern in-wall plastic is on. Wow, what a job in the heat. The bottom's not finished yet, but I'm going to take a break and let it cool off, and maybe put the pipes on the end for the roll-up sides later on. So, mission accomplished.